You think your wife can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
John Wick Chapter 4. Before we jump into the movie, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that this will be a non-spoiler movie review. That's right, we're kind of changing up the formula. I want to go ahead and make some live streams that are more suited towards movies. Maybe a live stream where we talk about the movie the following weekend after, once everyone's seen it, and then get a dialogue going. So something a little bit more fun, something a little bit more intuitive, something that involves you guys talking about the movie with me, which is something that I want to do more with this channel, is be able to interact with you guys and talk about movies. That being said, this is chapter 4 of John Wick, so we will most likely be talking about the first 3 chapters. So if you guys don't want to know anything John Wick related, be sure to click out of this video, go watch the John Wick movies. I highly recommend them. Come back and watch this, because John Wick Chapter 4 was an amazing time. So the plot of this movie, again, John Wick Chapters 1 through 3, he lost his wife, lost his dog, became a hitman again after retirement, and now John is trying to target the high table because they keep increasing his bounty and he just wants it to go away. He wants to be a free man, he wants his friends to be free, and that's the plot of the movie, just John Wick challenging the high table. So with John Wick specifically, I have this personal battle in my head to where I think, why do I care about this character? He is a unstoppable killing machine and there's no humanity to him whatsoever. However, everything about his character is the most human I've ever seen a character. I mean, just his inspiration alone. He doesn't want his wife's memory to be lost. And if he dies, that gets lost with him. So he's fighting as hard as he can to keep that alive. And it's something so entirely beautiful. Not only that, he's getting revenge for his puppy who was tragically killed. That was all in the first movie, but nonetheless, that all really translates into this movie. And there's lots of callbacks to it. In fact, there's a dog in this movie, and the entire time I was cheering on for that dog to live. I said, if anything happens to this dog, I'm walking out of the movie theater. But the dog definitely stole the show for me in this movie as well. Love dogs, so yeah. But talking a little further about humanity and John being more human, this movie really encapsulates that spirit so well. And in fact, I was really struggling mentally with this movie, and that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing for a movie to challenge me and make me think mentally on how I actually feel about a character, and then have it give me results that I've really been looking forward to, some really good payoff. And it really makes me think, okay, everything that I had thought about, it actually was never that way to begin with. It's almost like that's what they were doing with the first 3 chapters. I get it now. I see why John Wick feels like this machine, and it really goes to show that it's all based on emotion. Despite him being a cold-blooded person, it's because of how emotional he was and how vulnerable he was and how he doesn't want to go back to that state. And it translates so well with his character. Believe me, John Wick is a reserved person who sits back and he listens, and he doesn't speak much. Of course, he's John Wick. He's a man of little words, mostly action, which is what we like to see in our movies. Show, don't tell. But John Wick is a wise character, and it's not something that's directly told to the audience. It's something that I just personally love about the John Wick franchise, is just how amazing he is, how heroic this character is on a mental level, not just the action level, which is really cool, but also so much action, I've noticed it makes my brain go kind of numb, unless if they do something really cool with the fight scenes, which we will talk about later down the line. Nothing in-depth spoilery, but just really excited to talk about how cool they made some of these fight scenes. One thing I would love to take note of is everyone's performance in this movie. Keanu Reeves, he did an amazing job, again, as John Wick. He's evolving this character throughout each movie with all the world building and how it affects his character and his character responding and dealing with it. He's very much a responsive character. He doesn't run the plot. He just responds to everything that happens. That is John Wick to its core, is just a reactionary character experiencing this crazy world that gets built up piece by piece. And we, the audience, we get to see it built up with him. And it's so beautiful seeing this world get established and seeing all these spin-offs that are apparently coming to fruition. I think there's a TV show and maybe another movie coming out based around the John Wick universe. Now, talking about humanity and characters, I believe that we should be talking about Lance Reddick. He did unfortunately pass away at the age of 60 due to some natural causes, and the fan base has been in mourning on social media. He did really good in all the John Wick movies that I've seen. I've heard he did an amazing job in Destiny 2. He was a gamer himself, so it's an unfortunate passing, but I hope his friends and family are doing okay and that he is at peace. Now, one of the newer performances by Bill Skarsgard, I was a little bit mixed. I enjoyed his character. I think he did an amazing job acting-wise, directing-wise, also a pretty good job. It was more in terms of the writing where I kind of felt like the movie was lagging, because this character, he's like all of the other bad guys in the John Wick franchise. He's a bratty rich kid, except for in his case, he is playing a character who is in the high table, so it really feels like the stakes are that much higher. You really think that someone from the high table would be a little bit more, maybe even wise, maybe to the level of John Wick, if not even more wise. They unfortunately went in a direction where I just didn't care about the bad guy. He didn't feel relatable, and it felt boring, and for Chapter 4 of a John Wick movie with all this buildup, I thought the high table would be just a little bit more interesting. Now, this movie review wouldn't be much of anything unless if we talked about the action scenes, because it's a John Wick movie. It's all built on action scenes to the point to where like my brain almost gets numb. But there are some fight scenes in this movie that just really are, they stick out there really, really well. There's a lot of one-shot takes. There's not much editing, and that's a good thing. Not much editing is a good thing. It means that they don't have to cut a lot between these huge action takes. It's more fluid that way. You get to see the action take place on screen, and something I noticed while watching this movie is that there are no tight or close-up shots throughout the entirety of this movie. And it kind of threw me off, and I thought about it. I'm thinking to myself, okay, why would the filmmakers choose to opt out of this? Every shot you see, it's either an ultra wide, a wide, or a medium wide. And even those mediums, they're still pretty wide. And it's to showcase the action. It's to show you the John Wick fighting style, the choreography, because these movies, believe it or not, they put a lot of time into the choreography. In fact, there's a video that's basically trending online right now of one of the, I guess a stuntman falling down an escalator. What they're doing on the film set is insane. The choreography is beautiful, and that escalator scene alone, I saw it in the movie and I'm like, oh, that's it. That's it. That was the clip I saw on social media. So I don't think I've ever left a movie thinking so much about the stuntmen as I've done with the John Wick franchise. It's insane what they do, and I'm insanely proud of how they pulled it off, because it's beyond me. Something that I noticed about this movie compared to the others is that it actually takes a step back from world building and really focuses more on personal relationships between John Wick and those he is friends with, those he interacts with. And the movie absolutely has this deep emphasis on actions being taken and what the repercussions are for those. Because yes, there are consequences to the actions you take, and that is repeated on so many times throughout this movie. There are consequences to actions that you take, and there are consequences to what John Wick has been doing for the last now 4 chapters. There are definitely consequences that he will have to pay for, such as, in the last movie where he gave up his ring finger along with his wedding ring. And something I find funny about that is that John Wick, it's known for its action scenes. It's known for the giant fight sequences, the amazing choreography. But what I really take away from these movies are those little key messages. And in this case, it's about consequences. I love walking away from these amazing high-end movies with like such high budgets, and then walking away with just such a simplistic message about whether it's being a better person or learning a lesson from the movie. And it's something that I find beautiful about filmmaking. And despite a lot of these messages being so simple, viewers can walk away from the movie and take something from it, whether it's something that they learn from the movie or if it's something that they've been thinking about, and this helps build on top of that. It's a beautiful thing that I find it's really interesting to see in this high-end, action-packed movie. I very much enjoyed the camera work in this movie. I was blown away at times. I thought to myself, oh, so this is how they're doing it in my head. They're doing this, and then the camera would move in a way that I couldn't explain to myself. And I thought, okay, that's just special effects, right? It had to have just been special effects, but no, it could have been something that I just didn't think of. And I love that about this movie. I'm thinking to myself, how did the camera get up there when it started down there? And wait, we haven't even cut to another scene yet, and the action that's been taking place on camera has been caught so visually well, and it's just something that's so beautiful. And as someone who's shot, lame short films before and short sequences before, I find it just so interesting to take something away from this movie, such as just a filmmaking opportunity, and try to recreate it in my head over and over and over again, and just try to come up with a way on how they actually did it, mentally speaking. It's something that's really, really interesting to someone like me, just trying to figure out the mechanics of how that sequence even happened. It's so jarring, and it's something that really pulls me into the movies, and it's something that really excites me about John Wick. As I was watching this movie and being blown away by the magnificent camera work, I couldn't help but feel like they could have used one of these. This is an FPV drone, and there's a car sequence in this movie that I believe could have utilized this to great effects. I think it would have made for such amazing visual storytelling. Now, FPV drones have been used in movies before. They used it recently in the one about the paramedics, the ambulance movie. They also just get some amazing shots that normal drones can't get. Something that I've seen online that bothers a lot of people is the runtime of this movie. The movie is about 2 hours, 49 minutes, maybe almost around 3 hours, probably more with commercials. Commercials have been insanely long. They've been about 30 to 40 minutes lately, and it's blowing my mind. I'm also just tired of seeing the same trailers over and over again. But regardless, this movie, it doesn't feel like it's 2 hours, almost 3 hours long, just because of the action sequences alone. There's so much action in this movie that just really takes place from the start up until the end, and of course it has its slow moments, and I actually heard 2 people in my movie theater snoring. I was a little upset about that. I don't know why they fell asleep, because the movie was pretty good, and so I really, 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 really want to say that anyone can get through this runtime because of how amazing the movie is, but the audience this time around proved me wrong. But regardless, if you like action, if you like Keanu Reeves, and if you like a high body count in your movies, or if you just like John Wick in general, yes, this movie is absolutely for you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my movie review of John Wick Chapter 4. I had a great time at the movie theater, other than the snoring people behind me. Point being, I was totally annoyed, but regardless, I think it was a good movie. I think most of you will enjoy this movie. But again, guys, thank you for watching my movie review. If you guys enjoyed my video, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. The engagement helps out so much with the YouTube channel. We are trying to grow it. We do have other movie reviews up on the channel, and we are doing a Dungeons and Dragons movie review either this Sunday night or Monday morning. We're seeing the movie a little bit early, so very excited for that. Get my thoughts out there and talk about that movie with you guys. But regardless, I'm very excited. Be sure to stay tuned again for the live streams, and if you guys are new here, hit subscribe. It would really help out the channel so much, and it would mean the world to me. But guys, again, thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.